Hello everybody, boy with the beanie back here once again, and with this reaction video I actually have no idea what I'm getting into. The name of the video is The Beast Class, a true menace amongst mankind, and best I could say is something to do with Fate Grand Order or something of the like. My brother recommended this to me as a blind reaction since he wanted me to see it. I never saw it before, and he wants me to learn about Fate a little bit. So let's see what this video has to offer.
All right, man. Rise up, grind up. You guys picked it. We ran the poll again. And we got the Beast class coming in with the heavy dunk. Let's get it. We've already talked about the Grand class. It's only right that we talk about the Beast that the Grands come out for. So, the Beast class. The evils of humanity. They are a collection based on the cardinal sins of humanity manifested as separate entities. And although they might appear to be evil, their true goal is actually to protect humanity through the most aggressive way imaginable, by force. So for the first beast, we got Goetia. He is a manifestation of Solomon's magecraft. Near the end of Solomon's life, it was often speculated that he had rings that allowed him to perform magic. By tapping into the same divine wisdom that he received from God, this allowed him to summon 72 demons and angels. Fate took that concept and ran with it, making Goetia the embodiment of those spirits. Using Solomon's body, Goetia was able to conduct a 3,000-year plan to destroy all of humanity. He did this by incinerating every single human on the planet, except us, of course. When it comes to his sin, Goetia is the beast of pity. As he felt sorrow for mankind, the only true way that he could possibly save them is by wiping the slate clean. I can't deal with y'all. His skill is Nega Summon, which...
So the entire general idea of this is he felt sorry for mankind. So sorry in fact that he decided to kill everyone. I'm in for it. I'm in for it. Fine, do it. Do it by all means. I follow that. Do it. Have you seen 2022? Have you seen what we've walked into? By all means, I'll be the first one there. I'll help you instigate the damn Armageddon. Do it.
which allows him to completely ward off any true damage that comes from a servant, except Solomon himself. If you've seen the Solomon chapter, you know that he goes up against at least 100 servants at once, and they couldn't do a thing to him. Sure, you had the anime taking its own liberties with Rasuka,
No,
but that's an entire...
What the hell, bruh?
To him. Sure, you had the anime taking its own liberty.
I want to hear like that. I want, I, I want to do my hair like that. How do I do my hair like that? Best hairstyle ever.
With Rasuka, but that's an entirely different conversation. While he is an amalgamation, he does boast the ability to summon the 72 demon god pillars under his wing. So you got to deal with them too. Next up, you got the second beast, Tiamat. She is fake.
She is horny. And you can't tell me that I'm wrong.
Take on the primordial sea goddess that came from Mesopotamian myth. Now, as a primordial goddess, she's the same one that spawned all the life on Earth. She has multiple forms, and in the story,
Of course the giant beast still has to have titties. I agree with it.
To make her transformations based on the level of danger she was in. It took multiple high-level servants just to bring her down, most of which being gods and goddesses. A grand who was King Hassan down of danger. She continued to make her on Earth. She has multiple forms, and in the story she continued to make her transformations based on the level of danger she was in.
So does that mean you can technically defeat her by showing that she was in absolutely no danger at all, aside from the fact that you're probably somebody dangerous? Because if you send like somebody who would be high level danger towards her, say like I don't know how else to call him. I just call him Gramps because he's the old guy with the skeleton face that's like He looks like Skull Knight from Berserk, alright? I just call him Gramps because he's old. Plus I hear the fandom calling him that as well. If you send somebody like that towards this beast, then yeah, high level danger, you're gonna have a high level transformation. But if you send somebody like me there, like I'm no danger at all. You're in a regular position, but it kinda doesn't stop me from giving you a handshake, buying you ice cream, and then popping a Glock behind your head and saying goodbye. Like I'm no danger at all. You can easily kill me, and that's the fact that you can easily kill me means your transformation is not gonna be that good at all. I'm talking out my ass specifically just to piss off the Fate fandom. Because if it works with my brother, it's gonna work with them too.
Took multiple high-level servants just to bring her down, most of which being gods and goddesses. A Grand, who was King Hassan, a Grand...
I didn't know his name was King Hassan, I just know everyone calls him Gramps for some reason.
And Candidate, who was Merlin, and even when we did beat her, it was less of us defeat.
I think I insulted something. Okay, whoever's inside here, wait till I'm finished.
Beating her and more of her just giving up. She's with that, I'm telling you. Tiamat comes to us as the beast of regression. Due to the advancement of mankind, she kind of feels like we turned our back on her. And she has a lot of angst for the world because of that reason. Therefore, the only proper way to restore the balance is by flooding the entire world with her mud and making everybody her children once again. Her skill being Negagenesis, it's a bounded field that allows her to minimize the damage of a phantasm from any regular servant. Another thing is that since she is the mother goddess, she does have the power to use her chaos tide to turn people into her children. Once you've been submerged,
I can't be the only one that thinks it would be a good time to just have all those things run around trying to kill people, trying to kill you, and then you have to try and kill them back in return. I'm not the only one that just wants to go out with sharp objects and just go on and just fight things, right? No, just me? Fine.
in this mud, you will be reborn as one of her children and continue on in the process, otherwise known as the Lamu. You have the Bel Lamu, which were the strongest firstborn beings that were closest to her, gaining access in flight, power, and even higher survivability in comparison to all the other Lamu. The other side of the spectrum is when she takes control of a servant, which in that case, they will view anybody or anything that goes against their mother as the enemy. Next up, you got the Beast 3, Kiara. Now, this is the first beast that we deal with that has its own counterpart. The reason being is that this...
I can't be the only one that thinks as a noble phantasm or some kind of power that she can do is to just pop up one of the horns and use it as a war horn to just rally bang or something.
Beast tackles two sides of the same concept, that concept being love. One of them deals extensively with inward love, which is Kiara, and the other one deals with outward love towards others, which is Kama. Kiara, like many other concepts that you see in Grand Order, is just another character that's been reimagined to fit the scheme. Originally, she was one of the main bosses back in Fate Extra CCC, technically being a beast before beasts were even a thing. Her skill is Nega Saver, which allows her to completely block out the skills of the Saver and the Ruler class, which are some of the most notable classes in Fate in general. She is in fact the Beast of Pleasure, meaning that instead of imposing an outward love like Kama, Kiara believes that she can save the world by imposing an inward love toward herself. And by save us, it means to literally fuck us to death.
I agree!
And I'm dead serious. She conceptually puts the world in her womb and has her way with us. That is her plan to save the world. At least that would have been her plan if we didn't stop her in the chapter. I know, unbelievable. And to think I still want to go through with it when it comes to...
This is the name as well. Heaven's Hole. I can't. I have no idea if this video is even gonna be up or if it's gonna get taken down. I mean, yeah, I'm watching this off of YouTube, but Still, I have no idea what's gonna happen to my channel
her power,
specifically.
of course, she scales up to devastating the entire planet. Easy. In fact, she already had plans to do so once she got outside the chapter.
Does that mean if she can do that with planets, then she can just kind of use the solar system as beads? Anybody that knows about Fate, say that in the comments. Can she use the solar system as beads?
Was a bad end where she just touched the main character and he dissolved into nothing. Okay, she has hair tentacles that can one-shot you. She used 128 servants just for food over and over again. She even bodied one of Goetia's demon pillars. He tried to take control of her, and the only thing he could come up with was her pinky, and then she ate him. Where's the mercy? And then on the other side, you have Kama.
Okay, admittedly, I'm hearing all that I can't help but laugh. That's just kind of funny.
Who is also Beast 3. She's comprised of two entities, Kama, who is the deity of love from the Hindu pantheon.
Okay. First you have
entities.
Then this thing has its own bulge. What is this?
Who is the deity of love from the Hindu pantheon and
is that like a trend that's going on? Is that why all the fake characters are just that? It's just dressed that way?
Who is the demon king that appears in Buddhism. As a whole, they work together as one unit to tackle the cardinal sin of lust. Her main skill is nega desire, which allows her to charm any being, any person that wishes for something at all, to weaken under her domain. So that's basically everybody, because everybody wants something. This was something that was shown overtly to us in her domain when we could do.
What if you want to die? What if you're just like that emo that you just want to die? Doesn't that mean she'd just give you what you want and then kill you anyway? Or is there like a loophole? I like doing these things where you hear these just absurd powers, but I want to find a loophole. I like finding loopholes with these things. So what if you want to die and then she gives you what you want? But then again, the beasts think that they're trying to save the world, but then she's just gonna kill you. I confused myself.
Little to no harm to her at all. If that wasn't enough, as long as she has territorial advantage, she can continue to multiply her existence. She's like a disease. You take out one, she separates into two. She has
cancer.
Ridiculous amounts of power, conceptually being stated to be universe level, and she's only held back by the fact that she had to borrow Sakura's body to pull it off.
But can she Goku though? But can she?
So in that light, technically they're dudes in Sakura's body. I don't know how else to frame that. Mind you that both of these spirits, Kama and Kiara, never fully matured. This is also reinforced by the fact that
never fully matured. Have you seen what you're looking at? Never fully matured. If you call that never fully matured, then the Kardashians have some serious work to do. And so do some very strong industrial plastic industries.
That despite them being planetary and universal level, they're thresholded to their respective chapters. Had they been given enough time to fully mature, then the counterforce would have definitely sent out another grand to deal with the job. Crazy to think how powerful they were and they hadn't finished growing yet. Except Kiara, she was pretty much done. Next up we got Beast 4, and that is
very fluffy.
Our highly favored accomplice Fou, who tags along with us as we progress through the story. Turns out, this is just the premature tame version of his true form. His real form is primate murder.
That's actually 100% better. Still prefer fluffy things though. Mostly because you don't expect it to be strong. Like, let's not take this one. Let's take the first one. That small looking fox thing that looks like if you pet it, it's gonna feel like a cloud. But no, it's dangerous. That's actually the more dangerous form of it. So if you try to pet it, you're gonna die because the soft fur is actually concrete solid cyanide. Never mind. I could have swore I had a point to go with that. I just like look soft is dangerous. I just like that combo. It's like Pikachu.
A beast capable of taking down every primate on the planet. Thankfully, we had the
Do you not know about humans? They just base that off humans. Seriously, we've killed just about how many, God knows how many species on this earth already. And then we're looking for more. The more that we look for it, the more things that we kill.
guy Merlin around to come in and intervene. And this just goes to show how broke Merlin is. Merlin was able to tame the
Tiny fox thing. That I want it as a pet. Give it to me. I want it as a pet. I just hope it talks with an Irish accent. That's it. I want it to speak with an Irish accent. I want that thing to speak like Mimir. And I want it as a sidekick. But with... What's the thing? With the jokes of Donkey. That's what I want from a sidekick.
this beast and keep him in this state by himself, which would normally take 7 counter guardians to pull it off. In other words, 7 Emias. He did the job of 7 Emias on his own. Even when it comes to this childlike state of Fou, he still was capable of using hundreds of years of magical energy and save Mash's life in the first half of the story. Because of that, we can't communicate with him like we used to, but it's still a great feat nonetheless. And that's just when he's young. He is the beast of comparison, highlighting the envy of man, constantly trying to outdo one another, and his skill is still unknown because we've yet to see his full potential. Then we have another beast for Koyanskaya. Currently, she is inhabiting the vessel of Tamamo.
Okay, aside from that one, this looks like something straight. Hold on.
Currently, full potential. Then
something straight out of Alice in Wonderland. That just looks like if somebody put the Mad Hatter on Route 34.
we have another beast for Koyanskaya. Currently, she is inhabiting the vessel of Tamamo, who is one of the 3 great monsters of Japan. Koyanskaya herself felt like Tamamo was a worthy vessel since Tamamo was originally fated to go against mankind anyway. She is the beast of cherishment, addressing the sin of gluttony, people who like to indulge too much in things that they shouldn't have. Nothing's ever good enough. You know, you look around and you see
indulge too much in things like they shouldn't have. So nobody should have that much firepower. Not even the US. Nothing should have that much firepower. Overindulge in things that have too much mind. Yeah, don't overindulge in something pulls out entire Gundam for one person. Does the term overkill not mean anything?
See a lot of that now. Well, you'll see a lot of that at any time, but especially now. Everybody thinks they're supposed to be special. Nobody wants to be normal, and they just completely forego the essentials of life. It's a mess out here. Her skill is nega self, which negates the independence of the animals she's taken inside of her. So far from what we know,
yeah.
she was seeking to become the first composite beast using the main character, the alien god, and Amaterasu as a part of her spirit board, or her saint graph, her general makeup. This would without a doubt make her bar none to most of the entities in the verse. Next up, we got Beast 6 from Fate Prototype Fragments. This is better known as Beast of 666 from the Book of Revelations. We get to hear about their appearance at the end of the story when they're summoned by Monica. Their skill is Nega Messiah, and if we're using another beast for example, the skill essentially means that it negates anything that relates.
What was that transition angle? I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm asking if it was necessary. Answer.
To Christ. Holy weapons, holy concepts, scriptures, figures, so on and so forth. It is also the beast of depravity, recognizing the overall greed of humanity. Keep in mind that this beast was premature, and it took Arthur unlocking half of his seals on Excalibur and getting help from several servants lending him energy just to take this beast down. And it wasn't even finished growing yet. Per usual, it can devastate the planet. As of right now, there are multiple variants of Beast 6 that we're still learning about, the Whore of Babylon being one of them. This stems off into a different timeline from
They really had to pinpoint that name exactly right with this outfit, didn't they? It looks like somebody just put cherry sauce on top of it and then just let it wipe off. And then when it's sticky enough, you just put just like this one golden piece here, and it's like, alright, yeah, that's an outfit. That's an outfit. And done. It's Horror of Babylon. You really put that name on the head, didn't you?
the original FGO, that being FGO Arcade. In this take of FGO, you have one variant of B6 who manifests in the body of Nero Claudius as the Whore of Babylon. You heard me right. Even in the
Why does it look like a very angry Naruto? It's like if Naruto did this sexy jutsu and then decided, you know what, I'm gonna be an antagonist for a while. Because all I see is just Naruto sexy jutsu with the hair on. Also oversized horns. The always must be your worst enemy. You could never go and eat in a restaurant. You always have to eat out, even if the restaurant doesn't offer it.
Beast class, somehow you cannot escape becoming a Saberface. I'm convinced that we'll all become Saberfaces eventually. Her sin is depravity and her skill is Nega Messiah. And in a similar fashion to the Gorgon that appears in Babylonia, she can also summon her own demonic beasts that act as her subordinates. Lastly, we have the honorable mentions, which of course go to our beast candidates who didn't quite become a beast, but they do fit the role had they been led down that path and given enough time. We have the OG.
Honestly, I like the body tattoos. That kinda reminds me of Asta, but not really. But still, looks kinda cool.
My guy, Angra Manyu, the first Avenger, the spirit that specializes in hunting down mankind. What you gotta remember about Angra is that at the end of Stay Night, he was never truly born. We were able to stop his birth at the end of Heaven's Field, so we never had to worry about him getting to this state or going out of control. What we see in Ataraxia is his spirit just taking form in the shape of Shiro's body.
Apparently on the back of somebody's school desk.
Since the entirety of Ataraxia operates on the dream sequence to begin with. However, in the event that things did get out of control, Nasu has already addressed this in a Q&A. He said that Angra would have flooded the entire earth with his grail mud, so think the end of Fate Zero, but the whole world. And by the time that he got halfway, the counterforce would have been like, oh no sir, we gotta send something out for this man. And then they would have put out a grand or whatever spirit they deemed appropriate at the time. Then you have, you guessed it, your favorite wizard, the man Merlin. It's been stated that because of his background, in a scenario where he wasn't on our side, he too would be a threat to humanity. You even have his materials mentioned that he would be a premature beast. I mean, if you pay attention to the way that he acts now, Merlin doesn't really rub you as this benevolent person to begin with. He does exactly what he's supposed to at the very last minute, and that's it.
I can't be the only one that thinks he looks like a reskinned version of Astolfo, right?
He's more like a Shakespeare teetering on the line of good and evil just because he finds it interesting to see how everything unfolds.
I would do the exact same thing. I don't care if I had that level of power and I know I could just and fix the situation at the very last minute if I wanted. Of course, I'm going to wait at the very last second when everything's about to go shitsville to then be like, oh, that happens. Okay, never mind. And then fix everything. I would do that. I can't even be mad at him for that.
That's why he's
Also, he has the drip. And the very small thing on his shoulder, so extra points for that.
Always trolling us, showing up in just the nick of time. You gotta love it. And then there's Amaterasu, who
Are you sure that's just not Guinevere? You can't, you can't tell me that's not Guinevere. That's somebody's fan art parody work for Guinevere. You know, Dark Souls 1. I think I saying it right. It's Guinevere, Gwendolyn, Goetia. Somebody from Dark Souls 1. I'm just gonna say it's Guinevere because it's the first thing that came to my head.
who is the sun goddess from Shinto religion. She's been referenced several times in Fate already, especially along the lines of Fate Extra. She is one of the highest goddesses in Japanese myth in general, and
Is this a Japanese MILF?
by extension, she is often considered one of the strongest. Her spirit is so powerful, even in Fate, that it has to be divided into several parts, which is where we get concepts like the Tamamo 9. Going back to Koyanskaya, this sets up the background for one of those spirits, which was Tamamo Vich, the same body that Koyanskaya is using.
Does that mean if you line up like all of them into one, and then just make them do a Baba short quartet? Would that be a brandable thing? Just line up all the Tamamos in line and have them be a singing band.
To get to her goal.
Tamamo and the Tamamites. I'm a genius.
She wants to recreate the power of the nine-tailed fox, but with something even more powerful.
Ask Naruto.
Something that shouldn't exist.
You mean like his parents?
It's like putting the strongest spirits you can find in the blender and coming out with a homunculus or a chimera. Have you seen this? It's disgusting.
Yeah. It is. But the visuals around it looks kind of cool though, so I can't be mad.
Look at this. She's got legs on her hips. She's got feet on her chest. This is just horrifying. What are you trying to prove?
That everyone has a fetish. Even for this.
Going back to Amaterasu, she herself mentions in Extra that she is an evil to mankind, and in the event that she could manifest enough of her spirit at once, she would straight up be a beast. This is pretty impossible considering how strong she is, unless of course fate finds a loophole, which you know it always does, but that will be the case. The reason that we're able to make it work out.
Yeah, look, this thing, all of that, just give them headsets. All of that could just be a whole girl band. Tamamo and the Tamamites. Coming to a stadium near you. And then like 5 of them could open a baseball game. Another 2 could open a basketball game. One of them could go on a football game and sing the national anthem. You could just perform all over the country. They don't even have to hate humans. You could just leech off of them. Because a good majority of them are so stupid. Because they like the sport so much, like, yay, my team's winning, my team's losing, oh no, my team can't even play today. What? How does it affect you in life that your team's doing X at Z location? Doesn't exactly affect you in a positive or a negative way aside from your mood, so might as well just have them be there, and then your team's manager could pay me to have them sing there, and I could get a profit off of it. And all of them look awesome, with different personalities, especially that green one who probably would rather either be home eating food or just sleeping. I can agree with both. Not the one at the top here, the one at the back that kind of looks like she just came through a midlife crisis. Have them be singers.
So far is that the Tamamo 9 don't have all of
And probably invest in shoulder straps. I swear, do jumping jacks once and you're gonna be going to jail for public exposure.
Their tails, so most of their power is cut off. Regardless, it's crazy to consider how strong they are without all of their tails. How the original Tamamo, or any of them for that fact, are only drawing out 1/9 of their true power, and they're still lethal. Then there's the one and the only, the alien god, Beast 7. Now this is a heavy hitter and pretty much the end game for FGO Part 2. Currently she is manifesting in the body of our former director, Olga. As of right now, we know that she's seeking out the destruction of the current world and wants the reemergence of the Age of the Gods. That way it would make the planet far...
America, Russia, China. Just target the nuclear power plants over there and the rest of it should just fall into place. Seriously, just 1, 2, 3 in a row, and while the fallout happens, you could just step out of nowhere and be like, I've come to save everything. Really? Yes, now die everyone. And then you get what you want. It's not exactly that hard.
Far more inhabitable for people of her kind. Since we've yet to reach the end, we haven't seen her sin or her skill yet, and she was actually nerfed into B7 Spear Board just to be summoned on Earth. As far as her powers go, we know that she was the one that cast out the seeds that made the Lost Belts on the planet in the first place. Basically, she was able to inject the planet with alternate dimensions on her own leadership and wipe the entire planet clean while doing so. She's based on Satan or Lucifer himself, one of the most beloved angels that was cast out of heaven. She's got an impeccable roster when it comes to her lineup.
Based off Satan and Lucifer, immediately she was a priest right after. It's like saying this list is the top 10 spiciest things in the universe, and then immediately just cuts down ad for mayonnaise.
Working with people like Kiara as a pseudo-servant, Shiro as a pseudo-servant, and Doman, who tried to become a beast that...
Buy this man some nail files. Holy shit. How do you fight with that? You hit one wrong thing, that means it's going to split and it's going to be uncomfortable. It's just get a pedicure or something. Take care of your hands. Hell, at this point I'll even advocate for biting your nails. It looks like you just scraped piss under there.
Serves as a representative for hell, and that's just scratching the surface.
Alright, well, that's the end of this video. I actually had a little bit of fun doing some commentary on this. If anybody would like to just have me continue with the whole Fate Grand Order thing, I do have a little bit of interest in it, plus titties. So, if anybody would like me to continue reacting to this, if you have any videos you want me to react to, post them down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.